The summer landscaping mistakes that make your yard look tired, and how to fix them. I want you to walk outside right now, or picture your yard if you're watching this on your commute, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself for a second. Does it look the way it did in May? Because here's the thing, nobody tells you about summer. Your yard doesn't just sit there looking good once you've planted it for the season. Summer heat, summer growth, and summer neglect all move fast, and the gap between cared for and tired can open up in a matter of weeks if you're making even one or two of the mistakes I'm about to walk through. The good news? Every single mistake on today's list has a fix that takes an afternoon, not a weekend. This isn't a rebuild video. This is a rescue video. I've pulled together 10 of the most common reasons a yard starts looking tired by midsummer. The real ones. The ones horticulturists and landscapers actually flag most often, and paired every single one with the exact fix. Real mistakes. Real fixes. No filler. Before we start, comment below and tell me this. When you look at your yard right now, does it look tired or does it look cared for? I want an honest answer, because I guarantee at least one of today's 10 mistakes is hiding in there somewhere. If you're new here, welcome to Modern Yard Lab. This channel is all about the green stuff, the plants, the flowers, the living parts of your yard that most garden content skips past to talk about paving and furniture. Subscribe, because we're about to fix your yard's biggest summer problems, one at a time. Let's get into it. Mistake 1. Thin, patchy mulch. The single fastest way to make a well-planted bed look neglected. Here's a mistake that has nothing to do with your plants, and everything to do with what's around them. Thin, patchy mulch, the kind that's worn down, sun-bleached, or barely covering the soil, makes even genuinely well-maintained beds look tired and forgotten, no matter how healthy what's growing in them actually is. The fix. Refresh your mulch layer once a year, applying a consistent 2 to 3 inch depth across every bed. Choose a natural toned mulch rather than a brightly dyed one. It reads as considerably more upscale, and it unifies every planting area into one cohesive look, rather than a patchwork of exposed soil and thin coverage. Comment mulch if you just realized this is the actual reason your beds have looked slightly off all summer. Mistake 2. Letting weeds get ahead of you. A few scattered weeds send a louder message than you'd think. Weeds do something disproportionate to their actual size. Even a handful, scattered through an otherwise beautiful bed, instantly signal unattended to anyone looking at your yard. And once they've gained a foothold, they spread fast, competing with your actual plants for water and nutrients all summer long. The fix. Consistency beats marathon sessions here. A few minutes of weeding each week keeps beds tidy year-round far more effectively than one exhausting weekend catch-up every month. Little and often is genuinely the entire strategy. Comment weeds if you've been putting off a proper weeding session, and this is your sign to finally do it. Mistake 3. One watering schedule for your entire yard. The mistake that's quietly killing some plants while drowning others. This is one of the most common and most damaging mistakes landscapers see every single summer. Setting your entire yard to water on the exact same schedule ignores the fact that different zones have wildly different needs. Full sun beds dry out fast. Shaded corners barely need watering at all. Treat them identically, and you'll end up with some plants drowning and developing root rot, while others sit bone dry and stressed. The fix. Zone your watering. Group plants with similar water needs together where possible, and adjust your irrigation timing or hand watering routine by zone, rather than applying one blanket schedule across the whole yard. It takes slightly more thought up front, and it's the difference between a yard that thrives and one that's constantly, quietly struggling. Comment watering if you've genuinely never thought about watering different zones differently before today. Mistake 4. Leaving spring flowers in through summer heat. The flowers that were perfect in April are working against you by July. This is a mistake almost everyone makes, without realizing it. Cool season flowers, pansies are the classic example, look wonderful in spring, then quietly struggle, wilt, and stop flowering as summer heat sets in. Leaving them in place doesn't just look tired. It actively wastes bed space that could be doing far more work for you. The fix: swap cool season annuals for genuinely heat-hardy summer flowering plants once temperatures climb. Lantana, salvia, and verbena all thrive in summer heat, where pansies simply give up. This single swap is one of the fastest ways to take a bed from struggling to genuinely thriving. Comment swap if you've got pansies still hanging on in your beds right now that need to come out. Mistake 5. Skipping deadheading and seasonal pruning. The 5-minute habit that keeps flowering plants actually flowering. Flowering plants that aren't regularly deadheaded, meaning their spent blooms removed, will naturally slow down and eventually stop producing new flowers, redirecting their energy into seed production instead of more blooms. Left unchecked through summer, this is one of the quietest reasons a once flower-packed bed starts looking sparse by August. The fix: get into a regular deadheading rhythm, and don't forget to cut back perennials at the right point in their cycle too, not just remove spent flowers. Consider working in a few clipped evergreens or architectural plants alongside your flowering varieties. They hold their shape and provide structure even during any lull in blooming. Comment deadhead if this is a habit you know you should have, but genuinely don't. Mistake 6. Planting something too big for the space. The scale mistake that turns a feature into a problem. This one's subtle, but it's genuinely one of the most common mistakes in flowering shrub choices specifically. Picture a compact foundation bed with a hydrangea variety that can grow to 8 feet tall, planted directly in front of a low window. It might look proportionate as a young plant, but within a couple of seasons, it's overwhelming the space entirely. The fix: always check a plant's mature size before choosing it, not just its appearance at the garden center. Many popular flowering shrubs now come in genuinely compact cultivars, bred specifically for smaller spaces, meaning you can get the same flower and foliage impact at a scale that actually suits your bed, without a future battle against overgrowth. Comment scale if you've ever planted something that looked perfect at first and became a problem 2 years later. Mistake 7. Neglected, tired container plantings. The pots by your front door are doing more damage to your first impression than you realize. Container plantings get set up once in spring and then, for a lot of people, simply forgotten. By midsummer, what was once a lush, full container often looks leggy, sparse, or sun-stressed, and because containers sit right at your entrance, they're often the very first thing anyone sees. The fix: treat your containers as a seasonal rotation, not a one-time setup. Refresh with hardier, heat-loving varieties as the season progresses, and don't be afraid to swap out anything that's stopped performing, rather than letting it limp along for the rest of the summer. Comment containers if your entrance pots have been quietly declining since about June. Mistake 8. Relying only on temporary color. The mistake that leaves your yard with nothing once the flowers fade. If your entire planting strategy is seasonal annuals, beautiful while they last, but requiring constant watering, deadheading, and replanting, your yard has no backbone to fall back on once that color fades or a particularly hot stretch takes its toll. The fix: build your beds around a foundation of compact, naturally tidy evergreen shrubs that hold their shape and provide year-round structure, Then layer flowering annuals and perennials on top for seasonal color. The structure does the heavy lifting all year. The flowers are the seasonal bonus, not the entire plan. Comment structure if your beds are currently 100% seasonal color with zero year-round backbone. Mistake 9. Never testing your soil. The invisible mistake behind half the "why won't this bloom" questions in every gardening group. This is the mistake that happens before you've even planted anything, and it's genuinely one of the most overlooked. Not all soil is the same. pH levels and nutrient content vary significantly, even across a single yard, and feeding or amending blindly, without knowing what your soil actually needs, can waste time, money, and a full season of disappointing blooms. The fix: get a simple soil test done before your next planting push. It's genuinely inexpensive, takes very little effort, and tells you exactly what your soil needs, rather than leaving you guessing with generic fertilizer that might not be solving the actual problem. Comment soil if you've genuinely never tested your soil before. Mistake 10. Letting lawn edges go soft and blurred. The final mistake, the one that makes everything else look worse by association. And here's the last one, saved for the end, because it has an outsized effect on how every other mistake reads. A lawn with soft, blurred, overgrown edges bleeding into beds and paths makes an entire property look unattended, even when the planting itself is genuinely healthy and well cared for. The fix: recut clean edges along your lawn borders, paths, and beds. It's one of the fastest, cheapest fixes on today's entire list, and it has a disproportionate effect on how tidy your whole yard reads at a glance, because crisp edges frame everything else you've done well. Comment edges if you've never actually recut your lawn edges, and always just rely on mowing alone. Closing: 10 mistakes. Every single one common, every single one genuinely fixable in an afternoon or two. No full rebuild required. Here's the full list, one final time. Thin, patchy mulch, letting weeds get ahead of you. One watering schedule for the whole yard, leaving spring flowers in through summer heat, skipping deadheading and seasonal pruning, planting something too big for the space. Neglected, tired container plantings, relying only on temporary color, never testing your soil, letting lawn edges go soft and blurred. Now tell me which of today's 10 mistakes is actually behind it. I want your number, 1 through 10, in the comments. And if you're already guilty of more than one, you're in good company, so tell me all of them. I read every single comment, and I reply to as many as I possibly can. If today's video just diagnosed something you've been struggling to name in your own yard, hit that like button. It's the fastest way to help this reach someone else whose garden has quietly gone from thriving to tired, without them noticing exactly why. And if you're not subscribed to Modern Yard Lab yet, this channel is built entirely around the green and flowering side of garden care, the stuff that actually keeps a yard looking alive all season, not just freshly built. Subscribe, turn on notifications, because a tired yard was never a lost cause. It was just waiting for the right fix. Until next time.